Hello everyone. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss part 1 of object-oriented methodologies. Generally, a methodology is explained as the science of methods. A method is a set of procedures in which specific goal is approached step by step. That means to achieve a specific goal, we can use a specific procedure that is to be considered as method. In these methodologies, usually we include notation, process and proof. These are the basic three components for any methodology. Notation is nothing but the graphical representation of classes and their relationships with interactions with other classes. Process suggests set of steps to carry out for transforming requirements into a working system. That is set of processes. And tool is nothing but the software which is required for drawing and for documentation. For object-oriented development, many methodologies have been evolved. So we'll discuss it one by one. In 1986, Buch came up with the object-oriented design concept, which is famous as Buch method. In 1987, Sally Scheller and Steve Miller came up with the concept of recursive design approach. In 1989, Pick and Cunningham came with class responsibility collaboration CARS. Then, in 1919, Brock, Nicholson and Wiener came up with the responsibility of driven design. After that, in 1991, Peter Hood and Jordan developed the Hood lightweight and prototype-oriented approach, and two more are remaining. In 1991, Rumberg led a team at Research Lab of General Electric to develop with object modeling technique, which is famous as OMP. And in 1994, where Jacobson introduced the concept of use cases. So in this way, from 1986 to up to 1994, there continuously development occurs in these methodologies. So this is the summary of all these methodologies with their method names that we just discuss here. So when survey is done with object-oriented methodologies, then many methodologies are available, but to develop unified modeling language, the base provides from Rumberg, Hood, Buch and Jacobson. So these many developers are considered as a base or origin from which unified modeling language is going to develop. So we can say here the methodologies developed by Rumberg, Buch, Jacobson are the origins of unified modeling language. As we know, Rumberg method is well suited for object model or static structure of the system. Hood method is good for user-driven analysis models. Buch method details the object-oriented design models, and Jacobson method is good for object-oriented software engineering. We start with Rumberg object modeling technique. Rumberg describes in that object modeling technique for analysis, design, implementation of a system using object-oriented technique. We'll discuss it one by one in later slides. In object modeling technique, class attributes, methods, inheritance and associations can also be expressed with easy way This object modeling technique is used to describe generally dynamic behavior of objects involved within the system. Dynamic model specifies the detailed state transitions and their explanations within a system. The functional model object modeling technique states a process description and consumer-producer relationship. These are three models in which OMP separates their functionality into these three different parts, that is object model, dynamic model and functional model. 4 phases of object modeling techniques are analysis, system design, object design and implementation. Analysis phase. The results are objects and dynamic with functional models. In system design phase, results are the structure of the basic architecture of the system along with high-level strategy decisions. That is, in design phase gives the structure of the basic architecture of the system. Object design, this produces a design document which consists of detailed object, static, dynamic and functional models. Implementation phase produces reusable, extendibly and robust code. As we have seen, object modeling technique separates this modeling into these three different parts as an object model, dynamic model and functional model. Object model presented by object model and the data dictionary. Structure objects in a system with the help of object model describes the identity, relationships to other objects, attributes and operations. Object model is represented graphically with an object diagram. The object diagram contains classes interconnected by association lines. We'll see here one example. This object modeling techniques object model of a bank system. The boxes represent classes and the filled triangle represents specialization. Association between account and transaction is one to many. That is shown in the figure. One account can have many transactions. The filled circle represents many, that is 0 to 0 or more. The relationship between client and account classes is 1 to 1. A client can have only one account and account can belong to only one person, which is shown in this model. The joint accounts are not allowed in this model. In this way, the object model can be explained. These boxes represent classes. Filled circle represents transactions from 0 to many. Second is dynamic model, represented by state diagrams as well as event flow diagrams. Object modeling technique. State transition diagram is a network of states and events. Each state receives one or more events at which time it makes the transition to the next state. Dynamic model depicts state transitions, events and actions. This state transition diagram is shown here for bank application user interface. The round boxes represent the states and the arrows represent the transitions as shown in the figure. This is considered as a dynamic model. A functional model represented by data flow and constraints. In object modeling technique, data flow diagram shows the flow of data between different processes in a business. Data flow diagram uses 4 primary symbols such as process, data flow, data store, and external entity. Process is any function being performed. For example, in ATM machine system, verify password or PIN in the ATM machine system. Data flow shows the direction of data element movement. For example, PIN code. Data store is a location where data is to be stored. For example, account is the data store in the ATM example. External entity is a source or destination of data element. For example, ATM card reader. Front symbols are generally assigned for different purposes. Data store represents 2 parallel lines. Elliptical shape represents process. Arrow represents data flow. And square represents external entity. So in this diagram, which is shown data flow with 4 primary symbols as data store, process, data flow, and external entity. Here the same ATM card reader system is shown. Object modeling technique with a data flow diagram of ATM system. Here process, data store, data flow, and external entity are shown. Data flow lines includes arrows to show the direction of data element movement. Circle represents processes, the box represents external entities, and the data store reveals the storage of data as shown in the figure. This is all about Romberg object modeling technique. Next we'll discuss Booch methodology. It covers analysis and design phases of systems development. Sometimes it is criticized for its large set of symbols. When we start with a class and object diagram in the analysis phase and refine these diagrams in various steps. Booch method consists of class diagram, object diagram, state transition diagrams, module diagrams, process and interaction diagrams. All such diagrams are processed or covered by in Booch method. This diagram shows Booch methods such as class diagram and object diagram. It specifies the process, association, multiplicity. This class diagram describes roles and responsibilities of the objects. This diagram is not clear, so just data is given in order as well as processes are given. This is whole one class, this is the association, and this customer class. Multiplicity relation between these 2 classes given. Object diagram describes the desired behavior of the system in terms of scenarios. Next is state transition diagrams based on the stimulus which is given, which represents different states along with data flow. Next is process diagram. It is used to determine to which processor to allocate a process. It looks like a flow diagram. Next is module diagrams. It is used to map where each class and object should be declared. as shown in this figure. First is payroll module and second one is management of information. The whole map is given, which includes class as well as object. Next is interaction diagram. It is somewhat not clear. Okay. It describes the behavior of the system in terms of scenarios. Okay. Different scenarios are given with each process, and behavior from one process to another process is going to turn with data flow diagrams. Here, notation given, object modeling using Booch notation. This arrow represents the specialization. For example, the class Tarurus is a subclass of the class Ford. Mustang, Escort, and Tarurus are the subclass of Ford which inherits from the superclass car, having attributes color, manufacturer, cost, etc. The same state transition diagram with which notation is given here. Basically, which methodology describes two development processes. First is macro development and second one is micro development. It serves as a controlling framework for the microprocesses, and the primary concern of the macro processes is technical management of the system. First is macro development process. It consists of different steps such as conceptualization, analysis, development of the model, implementation, and maintenance. During conceptualization, we can establish the core requirement of the system, and also we can establish a set of goals and develop a prototype to prove that concept. Analysis and development of this model use the class diagram to describe the roles and responsibilities of objects which are carried out in performing the desired behavior of the system. In design or to create a system architecture, the design phase, we can use a class diagram to decide what classes exist and how they relate to each other. And next we can use the object diagram to decide what mechanisms are used to regulate how objects are collaborated. Next is implementation or evolution. Successively refine the system through many iterations. We can produce a stream of software implementations or executable releases, each of which is a refinement of the prior system. Maintenance make localized changes to the system to add new requirements and eliminate bugs. In this way, macro development process considers 5 steps in the development. Next is micro development process. Micro development process has its own micro development process. It is the description of day-to-day activities by a single or small group of software developers. Micro development process consists of different steps. First is identify classes and objects. Second is identify class and object semantics, that is the rule and methodology to represent class and objects as well as its meanings. Identify class and objects relationship class and object relationship between their inherited class, original class or main class. Likewise, identify class and object interfaces as well as implementation. So in this way, in this lecture, we have seen two object-oriented methodologies: Romberg object modeling technique, and second one is the Booch methodology. In second part, we'll discuss the rest of the methodologies in detail. Okay, thank you.